Let's pretend for a second that you're developing a video game. Any video game really. It could be a 3D platformer, a driving game, the kind of game doesn't really matter. But you need to tell the player to go from point A to point B. What's the best way to do it? Different games have different answers to that. Linear games just tell the player where to go using level design, while some open-world games like GTA use mini-maps. Some other games like Driver San Francisco have beacons that show you where you need to go even from a great distance. I mean, Minecraft also has this, and I'm talking about it right now. So does this make me a Minecraft YouTuber? But what about an arrow that literally shows the player where to go based on where they move the camera? I mean, when you see this, it sounds like an obvious idea, and some games have actually implemented the concept. But there's one small problem. This has been illegal for 20 years, and that game I just showed you as an example, the company who made it got sued because they used that arrow. This is honestly quite a weird story, but make sure to stick around for the rest of the video and I'll tell you exactly what happened. Alright, so to start we need to talk about hell. No, wait, I always mix this up. We actually need to talk about patents. They're basically the same thing. Patents are what we could call a necessary evil. If you have an idea, you don't want anyone stealing it and making profit of your hard work. And patents do exactly that, they protect your ideas and inventions. The problem here lies in a very simple question. Can you patent something so obvious that anyone could think of it at any moment?
Here is an ordinary square. Whoa, slow down, egghead.
The US Patent Office was opened 2 centuries ago, way before stuff like, you know, the Xbox. And you can patent almost anything. For example, Nintendo patented their D-pad, and no one could make a cross-directional pad for years. Other companies had to slightly change it until it wasn't infringing any patents anymore. That's how we ended up with the Sony D-pad and the Microsoft whatever this thing is on the Xbox. In the meantime, Sony just stuck to their guns because, I mean, their D-pad was already very good from the get-go. They almost haven't changed controller shapes in like 30 years now. But the lawsuit, avoiding a word I guess, goes to Sega, which for the Dreamcast barely changed the D-pad schematic, just enough to not get sued. But you know what's really fucked up, and the main topic of this video? Software patents. Because yes, these do exist, and some of you might think of them as like, oh yeah, it's a way to patent a piece of code that does something. No, you can just patent the idea of a piece of code that does something, which means you can look up entire game mechanics using patents, which is fucking insane, honestly. Could you imagine if Nintendo went like, oh yeah, so we would like to register this patent, and it's about characters jumping in games and running. And yeah, if you make a game that has a guy that jumps and runs, we are going to sue you and burn your house using combustible lemons, okay?
Combustible lemon?
This sounds insane. I mean, not that much because we're talking about Nintendo. But yeah, software patents are a tricky thing. And you can bet your ass companies have abused them for a long time now. Exhibit A, the minigames patent.
PlayStation 2, the hottest game to hit the market.
If you played any games during the early 2000s, you are probably familiar with this. Yay, this loading is fun. But what if you could play a minigame while you waited? Well, I have great news for you. Bandai Namco thought of this in 1995. And they filed a patent. And they locked it down for 20 years, barely using it. Some companies were able to avoid the patent by making loading minigames that were running on the main game's engine, but most companies decided to steer clear just to be safe, leaving us stuck like this. Losing hours we'll never get back. Anyway, I know this is going to shock some people, but I'm a zoomer, okay? I'm not 120 years old like most of you maybe think of me. My attention span is 3 seconds, I see funny monkey gif and I laugh. And when I play old retro games, I mean even Wii games are technically retro games now, long loading times can be a huge turn-off. This problem does not affect the current generations of consoles thanks to computers, SSDs and science, but there are some patents still active today that still do damage to the entire gaming industry. Exhibit B, the Nemesis System. There's this very important thing you guys need to know about Shadow of Mordor. Like seriously, take notes because according to Wikipedia, it's a video game. But seriously though, I haven't ever played this game, but there's one thing it is very, very infamous for. It's fucking NPC patent. The core of the game is this Nemesis system, which basically means that the NPCs remember when you fight them and eventually beat them. And they also fight each other, having a hierarchy of their own, essentially simulating a multiplayer server, but in a single-player campaign.
Oh, come here, mouse, and I'll break your fucking legs!
And that's patented. No one can make anything like that until 2035. Now, yes, you could technically go to court and fight for the right to use such mechanics, saying that it shouldn't be possible to patent something so obvious such as evolving NPC mechanics, but in the US, but it also affects everyone because business. You would need more than $1 million just in legal expenses. It is less expensive to just try and license the patent from the company that filed it. If you have the money and if they actually let you do so, because they have complete authority over that, they can do whatever the fuck they want. And to further prove my point of how fucked the US patent system is, there is an entire industry of patent trolls which just buy super vague patents from failed companies and then basically ask for ransom, because it's always cheaper to pay and go through a private settlement than to actually go to court. There's even an episode of HBO's Silicon Valley which talks about this. It is so common, it has become a TV trope. Wait, I actually need to go back in time for a second. The lawsuit avoiding award, I guess, goes to Sega. Hey you, Femi of the past. Wait, what? Sega does not deserve that award. Bill Gates.sexy sponsored the damn thing and I already spent the sponsor money, so... They are... sus. Is this how you young people communicate? You're literally 5 minutes older than me! Whatever, they are the ones behind the patent. I have a Google Docs here that tells you exactly what happens. Holy fuck, what? Okay, but, like, there's a problem now. What? What problem? If you're talking with me now, okay? And if you're warning me, therefore yourself from the past, that means me, so you are not going to go back in time like you did. And therefore your timeline is going to be erased and you won't exist anymore. So why are you still here? Wait, what are you talking about? She wasn't really thinking this through. Anyway, she left me her Google Docs here, so I should be able to take over for her. Wait, why does my microphone sound like this? Okay, that's better. During the late 90s, Sega was finally launching their latest console, the Dreamcast, which still technically is their latest console, but for other reasons. During this era, Sega also launched a new arcade system that was based off the Dreamcast hardware called Naomi, and for both the home console and the arcade system, they started releasing what I personally like to call job games. Oh, the late 90s when automation taking our jobs was just a dream. Games like Emergency Call Ambulance, where you have to take a patient to the hospital before they fucking die, something they clearly stole from Driver San Francisco 13 years prior. 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker, the name is pretty self-explanatory. And finally, the Aero game itself.
Hey, come on over, have some fun with Crazy Taxi!
Audio Jump. I could talk about Crazy Taxi for hours, but to quickly sum it up, it's a taxi game with broken physics, yeah, this is normal, and punk rock music, which I can't play because of copyright. It's a very, very unique job game, and Sega really wanted to protect this uniqueness, so in 1998, they registered a patent named Game Display Method. No, wait, I know what to do. I need to do my GLaDOS voice for this. My first video was about that. Hold on. Game display method, moving direction indicating method, game apparatus and ride simulating apparatus. Why is the word apparatus so funny to me? Anyway, behind all of this legalese, what we have here is a patent that tries to patent basically three things. An arrow or some sort of arrows, which is something they use in the ambulance game by the way, are used to guide the player towards the objective. You free roam in a city rather than a track, And the last part is basically a specific way to have NPCs run away from you when you come towards them, using what they call aura. Clearly a Dragon Ball reference. So what Sega did here is essentially establish legal grounds to stop the existence of any kind of Crazy Taxi gameplay clone for the following 20 years, at least in the US and Japan. The patent wasn't valid in Europe, so from the Netherlands we got Super Taxi Driver 2006. Yeah, it's a real game, look it up. This means that any other company, apart from obscure European ones, would have to be out of their mind to publish anything remotely resembling Crazy Taxi. Speaking of which, let's talk about Fox! It's 2001 and The Simpsons are airing their 12th season. To historically low ratings to the point they even started making meta jokes in the episodes about how bad the plotlines were starting to become. During this wonderful era of TV, yay, who wants to marry a multi-millionaire, I guess? Sure. Sure, Fox, what the f*** is wrong with you? Fox decided to have Radical Entertainment, which, if you didn't know, is the development studio behind both Mario is Missing for NES and Prototype, two really similar games.
They call me a monster, a killer, a terrorist. I'm all of these things.
Yahoo! Make a Simpsons game for basically every platform on the market. The game plot is actually pretty simple, yet still better than Season 32. Mr. Barnes buys every public transport system in town, replacing it with radioactive buses, which, as common sense might suggest, are dangerous for your health, giving you what I personally like to call uranium fever. So citizens basically invent Uber and start taxing each other around. Behind this Simpson yellow coding, it's a really generic Crazy Taxi clone. They added a sat-nav and they replaced the arrow with Homer's hand. But we actually have footage from the E3 2001 alpha version of the game, which clearly had the Crazy Taxi arrow. They didn't even bother to hide it here, so here's what I think happened.
Artist rendition of the development process.
Boss, we have a problem.
What problem?
We are violating not one, but several Sega patents.
It's not the arrow, is it?
Yes, it's the arrow.
Okay, let's just change the arrow to a pointing finger and use a minimap. That's gonna confuse people.
But seriously though, that didn't really confuse anyone, and Sega obviously sued Fox. Of course, you can't just sue a company saying that they made a taxi game and that's your thing. So that's where the arrow patent came in handy. That patent was basically definitive proof that Fox was straight up copying Sega's homework. And in fact, just after a few months, Fox admitted defeat and they paid Sega an undisclosed amount in private to settle everything out of court. They made a pinky promise to never ever copy a Sega game again. They would copy Rockstar instead. And this has kinda scared every developer from using the arrow, with good reason. Wait, that's a Half-Life quote.
But with good reason.
I have my brain full of like Simpsons and Half-Life quotes. That's what my brain gives priority to, apparently. What I mean by this is that it was always better for companies to just avoid upsetting Sega. There were ways around this that basically gave you the same kind of info on the screen, but without using a 3D arrow. You could like do it Fallout style, or like Atari did in TDU, where they turned a sat-nav into an actual gameplay element. And this is why this 3D arrow was illegal for 20 years. The patent has been expired for a few years now, and you can use the arrow wherever you want. Not only that, but you can legally create gameplay clones of Crazy Taxi, that's now allowed. And that weird Dutch company from before, the one that made Super Taxi Driver 2006, I f***ing love this name, yo, it's so immediately outdated. They actually made a new game. I can look this game in the eyes, but it has no soul. Yeah, that's too deep of a review for a taxi game. The real reason I wanted to make this video though was because I really wanted to let people know how really the US patent law is, because stuff like software patents can really kill innovation and just make everyone's life worse, even though I personally, for example, am not affected by it. I'm a video maker and a student, and like patents don't really apply to this. Hold on. Alright, so I'm sorry for the small interruption. I had a bit of a problem. I got sued and I had to sell my microphone and my computer. and my house. I'm using this old computer now in a shed in the middle of the Albanian forests. The rent price is great here. There are some wild bears around, but I'll figure that out. I would normally just cut to the outro now, but I have no money, so I paid James May with a 43-cent Tesco gift card to play the theme song on his toy keyboard.